Hi survivors, it's me Purple reporting to you. Hope you guys are doing well because what's going on in this world, it's not. Now we're doing a series on on my Patreon survivalism classes on the Amish, and we see that they live off the grid. I think these are ideal people for us in the prepping community to study and to emulate in regards to the way they survive and the way that they live. And today with the climate in the world, the way in which we're living, I mean, not meaning the climate as far as weather, I'm talking about what's going on around us. It would behoove us to live like the Amish. They're very frugal, their community involved, they believe in one God. They and everything they produce themselves. They're not going out here to these markets, and they're not spending up all their money. Matter of fact, they make good furniture. So I want to read some more about the Amish, and I think it's important, to learn a lot about the Amish and help us with our survivalism growth. It says this is how and why the Amish live off the grid. There's a group of traditionalist people who reject many of modern society's technology, including public grid electricity, the Amish. That, however, does not prevent them from enjoying some of the comforts of technology. How would a lack of electricity affect your life? We already see that. I mean, especially out here in Texas, the grid go down whenever it wants to. And then they can control you like that. There's a group of traditional list people who reject many modern societies. Okay, we just said that. Okay, it says, why do Amish people reject electricity? Interestingly, Amish don't reject electricity per se. The subject is more complicated than that. The power source itself is not the issue. Running household items with electricity, like an iron or a lamp, is perfectly agreeable with Amish beliefs. Technology that adds value to the community is a welcome tool. Although each community is individually decides what exactly is considered valuable, being connected to the power grid, however, it would inevitably establish a tight connection to the non-Amish world. This, in turn, fear the Amish, could influence their culture in undesired ways. Moreover, Amish leaders recognized early on that electricity can potentially power many things, and thus its use was banned in 1920. Electricity does not discriminate, and eliminating public power from the home prevents the temptation of using television, radio, and the internet in the home. Additionally, too much reliance on labor-saving devices, Amish feel, may deprive children of character building opportunities to work. This is so true, y'all. We be in a house looking at TV. Do you know how much time that is we giving to nothing? Unless it's something that you learn, it's something that you could benefit from in life. We be in a TV, we on this internet, wasting a lot of time. Unless you consuming content like this that can help you in life. How do they generate power? This is where it gets interesting. Since they refuse to buy electricity from the public grid, but still depend on energy from many of their everyday operations, it seems like they got a lot against the grid, and you can't blame them. They just refuse to be controlled by people who don't give a damn about them, basically. Um, they but still depend on energy for many of their everyday operations. They were forced to develop many workarounds. To power appliances, Amish use batteries, propane gas, compressed air pressure, various generators, hydraulic pumps, and even solar panels. Why not all of their power sources like propane gas or diesel are sustainable? They are rather creative, independent, and used to living off the grid. How do they use electricity? Amish are probably not as backwards as you think. Most use electric lights, often LEDs, instead of candles. And they do use candles and lanterns. He said in the video that I posted. Gas or oil lamps. They have gas-powered fridges, washers, solar-powered electric fences. They use electric tools. And back in 2008, someone even developed a classic word processor, aka an Amish computer. This dumbed down computer was made specifically for the plain people by the plain people. It came without connectivity ports, sound, pictures, games, or other features beyond the ability to process documents and be useful for business. We lose so much in life depending on the system, y'all. We lose so much of life, and we're not really instilling a lot in our children when it comes to being self-reliant and independence. And y'all, that could teach them, and that could take them a long way. It will keep their money within them and their family members and their children. That can be passed down, learning how to save money, being totally reliant and independent. They instill this in their children at a young age. We teach our kids to go out here to these stores and buy and consume this nasty stuff that they sell us in these markets. The Amish don't do that. For the Amish, the key is to stay off any grid that connects them too tightly to the modern world. As long as our worldly luxuries don't violate their independence and their Christian values or threaten their community, anything is game. That naturally excludes the internet and home phones. The Amish are suspicious that beneath the glitter of modernity lurks a divisive force that in time might fragment and obliterate their close-knit community. And it says we can learn a lot from the Amish. The Amish first and foremost concern is to preserve their Christian values and protect their cherished communities. They are deeply aware of how quickly a community can deteriorate when it depends on a system. If individuals temporarily forego common values to strive for personal goals or satisfaction, if you thought the Amish are a dying community, think again. There aren't many, but their population has been growing from 165,000 in the year 2000 to approximately 249,000 in 2012. That's a 50% increase in 12 years. It's probably even more now since this pandemic. Meanwhile, overall birth rates in many Western communities are stagnating or even dropping. It seems like the Amish are thriving. You can conquer this with deprecatory comments and comparisons all you want. There is something to be learned here. The Amish know what they value, and they have a clear vision for their future. Their lives revolve around their community and nothing else. Based on these premises, they carefully evaluate every new technology, trying to understand what the consequences of its use may be and whether it can serve them in a good way. When they do find a tool they have a need for, they amend the technology to remove all elements that don't serve them, such as with the word processor. They are never rushed to madly follow a trend, and thus their culture is developing slow enough to maintain its key values and characteristics, its identity. They rule and hack technology so gadgets won't run their life. The lifestyle of the Amish might be backward and old-fashioned to most people. Most of their values, however, are universal and timeless. Western societies share many of these values, but what is our vision for our future? Consumption to maintain endless growth, of following trends and fads and other people? And where are we ending up with this strategy compared to the Amish? It's so much that we can learn from them. Now I'm learning more about the Amish. I thank God for putting this on my mind and heart to share with you guys because it's teaching me a lot. It feels like I'm more like an Amish person than I am like a regular society person because I hate trying to keep up with this trend, keep up with that trend. And that's what the internet is really all about, y'all. You got to hop on this because somebody else is hopping on that. You got to think like this because somebody else is thinking like this or whatever, and think like that. It's just like, it's really weird and it's different. And so I really commend them and their way of life. It's really appreciated more now than ever. And I'm going to adapt and do more things like the Amish. I never seen a black person in the Amish community, but, if they would accept my kind, I think I would submit, honestly. You guys, please follow me on my other platforms, and the links are in the description. Just put a lot on my mind, and you guys, if you're looking for land and survive and and bug out locations, the links are in the description. And if you're looking for survivalism gear, I have a lot of that on my website. Links are in the description, especially the radiation suit, y'all, the potassium iodide tablets, because of the climate of the world that we're living in, all the nuke threats and attacks allegedly. And watch this world, watch the weather, smell your water, boil your water before you use it, and keep surviving.